Hi everybody, I'm Grahtles.
I'm Sunken Ship.
I'm Joy, and this is
Ladies in the City.
Welcome to our take on City Skylines multiplayer.
Ladies in the City will premiere every Sunday at 12:30 Eastern.
We'd like your feedback, so please come hang out with us. And don't forget to
like, comment, and subscribe.
Hi everyone, I'm Grahtles, and welcome to a new episode of Ladies in the City. So it feels like it's been forever. That is because Raid Kitty was in the middle there. And so, yeah, this is round 5 already for me. Crazy, isn't it? But our city is growing tremendously. And I can't wait to see in person the zoo, what Sunken did. She did that whole new neighborhood. And then Joy did that city center. So I am excited to jump in, check it out, and see it I have no idea what the heck that's doing, but that's okay, because we're getting out of this view and we're going to go check on what the girls did. So let's go ahead and do that. So first things first, let's check out this zoo, because this is one of the most amazing zoos I've ever seen in my life. She did a phenomenal job, Braid. Unbelievable. Look at that nice water feature in the middle. And adding all the different buildings from the different parks and unique buildings was brilliant. I mean, it looks amazing. I'm so happy with this. It's such a great addition to our city. And I am so thankful for Raid for coming in and being a guest here. It's so awesome. So let's go ahead and head over to Sunken's. Oh my God. Sunken really blew this up. This is amazing. Look at this. I really didn't get a good look at this when we were doing, when Sunken was doing the premiere, because sometimes we're so busy talking in the chat and stuff, but getting a more detailed view and being able to see it for myself, she did enormous work here. I mean, she really terraformed a lot and put in, this looks so nice. Look at this view. Can you imagine living up here and having that view? That is just phenomenal. I love it. So we're going to go and head over to what Joy did. And she did a whole city center. And that really filled out the whole area by the zoo nicely. I mean, look at the amount of work she did over here. It is incredible. Look at this. I love all the high density buildings. It looks so nice over here. And it just complements look at the water. I didn't even realize she did the water. That's so crazy. Look at that. She does some nice water treatment plants. It looks so good. But it really does complement the zoo area. So in today's episode, I'm going to actually open up a new tile and we're going to head to that island over there. But before we do that, let's go ahead and check in on our city. I think there was a couple of cemeteries emptying, and some of them were finished, some of them weren't. So I have to go ahead and turn them back on, or, well, not on and off, but stop them from emptying and get them back in service. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that, and then we're going to go ahead, open that tile, and I'll give you a little hint of what we're doing. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump in and grab that tile right there. So we need some cargo. We have no cargo coming in. And I did attempt this once and had an amazing amount of traffic back up. And I thought, I can't just do this. I talked to Sunken actually, and she's like, well, try putting a train down by the other side so we have another option for them to kind of grab some cargo. So that's exactly what I did. On the other side there was the train connection, and I ran the train so this way they had another option for cargo and didn't have to come all the way down to the sea to get, everything exported or imported, either one. So I did put a cargo train down in here, and I just hook it up. It's pretty generic. It's not the highlight of the episode, but it just serves its purpose down in here. And then we'll go ahead and we'll head over to the island and I'll show you more. So now we're going to head to the island. I deleted that road. That was something I put in there temporarily just to kind of have a place marker of where I was. And now I just terraform pretty much the whole island. Now it is pretty flat to start, that I kind of terraformed in. And then I kind of add some ridges and stuff where needed. I deleted all the trees because I want to just put in our own. And I'm just really prepping the area for a cargo ship. This took a little bit of time. I do time-lapse it. I do time-lapse the whole video. I time-lapse all my videos, so just to be, open and honest, I time-lapse a lot. Reason being, I guess, is because I do a lot in each episode, so I try to, make it as smooth as possible by adding the time-lapses, but also want to give you just about everything that's in there without it running too long. So that's exactly what I did. So I ran these like temporary roads, and it helped guide me to put in the keys. I don't have like key anarchy or anything like that. I don't even know how to use half the mods. I'm just learning. I'm getting much better. Little by little, I'm learning more of the potentials of them. So here I'm learning just how to raise and lower the heights, and make everything the same height. So I am getting better. So it is working, but I just put in the keys there. I'm cleaning up the edges now. But yeah, I'm learning. It's quite fun. I'm actually enjoying using mods. I didn't think it was going to be one of those things that was going to be a deal breaker for me, and now it's becoming like a huge deal breaker. I love using Move It. That's one of my biggest ones that I love using now, but yeah, I'm getting used to it. So here I definitely had to lower it. It was definitely too high, and then I had to terraform the land back down, and that's where I end up with that little ridge. And yeah, you'll see a little bit of everything. Here I use a cargo hub, the ship with the train, just because this way we could bring that train that we had down into here. And that will help move some of the cargo around as well, considering that the train is really our first cargo that we put in ever. So that'll definitely help out a lot. Now we're ready to grab that highway and pull it through onto the big island. And that's going to be necessary because traffic will get pretty heavy, I'm assuming. I'm trying to plan ahead. Here I'm trying to center the highway to the center of the island. I want to do something in a future episode. I only have one left, but I want to make sure I get that highway in there. Anyway, here we're going to just smooth this out. I want this to come down, and I don't want the island to be completely flat. I don't want it to be completely flat. So I did do it in kind of like a little bit of a tier, I guess you could say. Here I'm adding some more cargo ships, and probably more than necessary, and I wasn't even sure if they were actually all gonna work. And the reason being is sometimes if you put multiple cargo ships in, they only use the first one and then they won't use the other two, and they worked. I was shocked. Yes, I know. They actually used all three. They were bypassing some of the first ones that were busy and moving on to the second and third. So I was completely happy with that. Next, I put in a trumpet interchange to put a direct access to our cargo. Now, this will have some on and off ramps for our residents and commercial down in this area as well, but it gives the cargo a direct access to the cargo hubs without having to go through the residential areas. now that we finished up the trumpet and we made the connections to the cargo area, I just start filling out this area with warehouses, some recycling, and a whole bunch of different things. We're definitely going to create an office space to get rid of some of that demand for some industry. And I do turn this warehouse around so it's not on the outside edge. So this way the outer edge of the ring will be just strictly for the cargo trucks going through, and the inside will be for the warehouses. So originally I had these all as one ways, and I start transforming them into two ways. It just helps the traffic flow a little bit better throughout the area. And we're going to put in some office spaces. And this is going to get filled up with basically just offices. So I definitely wanted them to move around, and they don't generate a lot of traffic. So I wasn't really worried about having the two-lane roads. So yeah. Next I start preparing for some residential and commercial area, and I just use a 4-lane for this, and the 4-lane's basically going to be for most of the commercial, and then we're going to fill out the area with roads. I did do that off camera. This episode I probably filmed for about 6 to 8 hours on this episode, so I did have to cut out some of it, but yeah, it wasn't a big thing as far as the road layout. It's pretty generic, so I fill it in, and I did add a roundabout here. Now because it's got like 3 different sections that it's going to, I figured it would probably be best to do the roundabout here and have some of the connections from the highway continue into here. And it works out quite well, so this way people can get around a lot easier. Now I was a little worried about it generating too much traffic, but that wasn't the case. I have just some ins and outs on some of the regular roads, and then they could all generate to that roundabout and come through. Next I just start adding some power, some water. I figured that would be a good idea down in here. I'll take some of the stress from the top of the map. And then I just go ahead and start zoning in some of the offices and adding in some services. We definitely don't want this to go on fire. If we had a fire, it'd be pretty bad because I don't know where the next fire department would be. It'd probably be off the island somewhere. So yeah, we definitely filled in some fire, police, medical. I did fill in with that surface painter. It just looks so much better with the just the whole feel of the cargo area. So I do love using that surface painter too. That's one of my favorites as well. Now I start filling in some of the residential area with some parks, and I also add a whole bunch of unique buildings in different areas, and I got rid of that little piece right there just because we didn't need it and connected it through. So that just made a lot more sense. Next I just start filling out the demands of residential, commercial. We didn't have a huge demand for it, but I was trying really hard to kind of fill it in. And little by little, this is probably what took the longest, was getting it all to fill out and grow in because it was coming in quite slowly. But eventually it does catch, it does work, and yeah, we'll see it in a few minutes. Pretty much flushed out of all, just about everything filled in. I think everything did fill in, but it did take quite a while. So after a long time, it did start filling out really nicely. So I started to add some trees and some walking paths just to get things going and make it look a lot more full. And it does look a lot better with trees. Trees make everything look a lot better. So next it was time to add a lot more details down in this cargo area. And that is something I never used to enjoy, but now I definitely enjoy it, thanks to Joy. And yeah, I mean, it's so funny how I was just really a strict, straight up builder. I never really thought about going back in and adding all these little fine details. And watching other people detail is now one of my favorite things to watch over building. I think just adding there's so many things that's amazing using Find It now. So being a vanilla player, you don't have access to all these things. So having Find It and just being able to look for all these props and stuff like that to just make your areas look so much more flushed out and really realistic is superb to me. I just love it. So I actually am doing a lot more detailing, and as you'll see, I really fill out this area quite nicely. So here's where I come in and I start making the paths to just get their walkability up. It makes a huge difference. People will walk in your cities if you put in paths for them, and you know, they have the sidewalks, but the paths where they can cut through and make their distance of walking much shorter is absolutely a must. because they will walk. That's the one good thing about Sims. They don't care. They are programmed to walk. So it works out really well when you can get them walking around and not using cars, just because it just makes more sense, and it just definitely helps with the traffic, especially in these high density areas. So this is going to conclude my episode with Ladies in the City, and I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. And next week we have Toadie YPQ, and that's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to see what she does. And if you enjoy our content, please like, subscribe, comment, share, and I'll see you next week. Thanks. Bye.